What if everything you've been told about change is a lie? Your doctors tell you healing takes time. Your therapists say transformation requires years of processing your past. Your spiritual teachers claim enlightenment demands lifetimes of practice. But they're all missing something extraordinary that's happening right now in labs across the world. People are healing from incurable diseases in days, not years. A woman with advanced multiple sclerosis walks again after 6 months of mental rehearsal. A man's stage 4 cancer disappears in weeks through emotional coherence practice. A child with severe autism develops normal social skills through consciousness work. These aren't miracles or anomalies. They're evidence of something modern medicine refuses to acknowledge. The truth is, your body is not a machine running on a fixed program. It's a quantum system responding to your consciousness moment by moment. Every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts, adapting to your emotions, and restructuring itself based on your beliefs. Not the latest research in epigenetics proves that your genes respond to your consciousness in real time, turning on and off based on your mental and emotional state. Your brain can form new neural connections in seconds, not years. Chronic conditions can resolve instantly when you understand how to access the quantum field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This isn't positive thinking or wishful believing. It's cutting-edge science that most people are too busy surviving to understand. Here's what quantum physics has proven beyond any doubt. Nothing in the physical world is fixed until it's observed by consciousness. Everything you see around you, including your body and your life circumstances, exists as waves of possibility in the quantum field until consciousness collapses these waves into particles of matter. This means your reality isn't set in stone, it's responding to your consciousness in every moment. Most people keep recreating their past because they haven't learned how to generate the emotional states that signal new possibilities in the quantum field. They wait for their circumstances to change before they change their internal state, not realizing they've got it backwards. Your emotional state isn't just a reaction to your reality, it's the very frequency that shapes your reality at the quantum level. When you understand this, you realize that waiting for external circumstances to change before you change how you feel is like waiting for your reflection in the mirror to smile first. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined with elevated emotion. This is why mental rehearsal combined with elevated emotional states can literally rewrite your genetic expression, reshape your neural pathways, and reorganize the quantum field to match your new state of being. Right now, in this moment, something extraordinary is happening in your brain and body. A woman I worked with understood this perfectly. She had been wheelchair-bound for 4 years, diagnosed with a severe degenerative disease. The doctors told her she would never walk again, but she refused to accept that future. Instead, she spent 15 minutes every single morning feeling what it would be like to walk again. Not just thinking about it, feeling it. She felt the strength in her legs, the firmness of each step, the joy of standing tall. She did this with such intensity that her body began responding as if it were already happening. After 6 months of this daily practice, small movements returned to her toes. Within a year, she was taking her first steps. Today, she walks without assistance. The medical community called it a miracle, but it wasn't a miracle. It was the power of feeling your future into existence. What most people don't realize is that your nervous system can't tell the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you create new neural pathways. You're literally rewiring your brain to match your desired reality. This isn't just positive thinking, it's based on solid. Every time you feel an emotion, you release chemicals in your body. These chemicals affect every cell, every tissue, every organ. When you consistently generate elevated emotions about your future while feeling them in your present moment, you're signaling your genes to begin creating that new reality. You're not just dreaming about change, you're becoming the architect of your own transformation. The latest research in neuroscience shows us that our thoughts and feelings are literally changing our biology moment by moment. We're not hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of our lives. We're actually soft-wired to change. Your brain is not fixed. It's constantly being reshaped by your thoughts, emotions, and experiences, both real and imagined. Here's what's fascinating about your brain and emotions. Every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. That's right, you're a living pharmacy, creating your own internal chemistry moment by moment. When you have a happy thought, you make dopamine. When you feel loved, you create oxytocin. When you're inspired, you produce norepinephrine. These aren't just abstract concepts. These are real chemical messengers that signal every cell in your body. Think about this. If you're sitting here right now thinking about a past event that made you feel angry or frustrated, your body doesn't know the difference between the memory and the actual event. It begins producing the exact same chemicals as if that event were happening right now. Your body is living in the past, even though the event is long gone. This is how people get stuck in emotional loops that keep creating the same reality over and over. But here's where it gets really interesting. The same principle works in reverse. When you spend time feeling the emotions of your desired future, genuine gratitude, joy, abundance, love, your brain and body begin to change in advance of the actual experience. You're no longer waiting for something outside of you to make you feel a certain way. You're creating those emotions from within, and your body responds as if the future you desire is happening right now. Let's talk about neural pathways. Every time you think a thought and feel an emotion, you're strengthening specific neural connections in your brain. It's like creating a path through a forest. The more you walk that path, the more defined it becomes. This is why people who consistently feel stressed or anxious find it easier to stay in those states. They've created superhighways in their brain for those particular emotional patterns. The quantum field responds to two things: your thoughts and your feelings. Your thoughts are the electrical charge, and your feelings are the magnetic charge. Together, they create an electromagnetic signature that influences the field around you. This isn't mystical thinking. It's based on quantum physics. The observer effect in quantum mechanics shows us that consciousness affects reality at the subatomic level. Recent research at HeartMath Institute has shown that when people generate sustained positive emotions, they can actually change their heart rate variability, immune function, and even their DNA expression. The mind-body connection isn't just a theory anymore, it's measurable, observable science. Your thoughts and feelings are. What's even more remarkable is that when you maintain elevated emotional states consistently, you begin to attract experiences that match those emotions. This isn't magic, it's physics. You're tuning yourself to a different frequency, and like a radio receiver, you begin picking up corresponding signals from the quantum field. You stop waiting for your reality to change so you can feel better, and instead you feel better to create a new reality. Now, let me tell you why most people struggle to create lasting change in their lives. Your identity, who you think you are, is built from memories of past experiences. Every morning when you wake up, your brain searches through these memories to remind you who you are. If you've spent years identifying as someone who's anxious or unlucky or never has enough money, that's the past programming that keeps running your life. These programs aren't just mental, they're emotional. Your body has become addicted to certain emotional states. Many people live their entire lives driven by survival emotions: fear, anger, anxiety, stress. These emotions served a purpose in our evolutionary past, but now they're keeping us trapped in old patterns. They're like a software program running in the background of your life, determining your choices before you even make them. Here's what most people don't understand. Every time you react to present circumstances based on past experiences, you're literally recreating your past. You're using the same neural networks, producing the same chemicals, and therefore attracting the same situations. It's a cycle that keeps repeating until you become aware of it and consciously choose to break it. Awareness is the first step to transformation. When you start paying attention to your automatic reactions, your habitual thoughts, your recurring emotional states, you begin to see the patterns. Maybe you notice how your body tenses up in certain situations, or how you automatically expect the worst outcome, or how you sabotage opportunities because they don't match your current identity. But here's the liberating truth. You are not your past. You are not your emotions. You are not your habits. These are just programs running in your nervous system. And like any program, they can be rewritten. The moment you become aware of these patterns, you gain the power to change them. You can pause in that space between stimulus and response and make a different choice. Breaking free from past programming requires courage. It means being willing to feel uncomfortable as you step out of familiar emotional states. It means choosing elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and possibility, even when your circumstances haven't changed yet. It means being willing to become someone new. This is where mental rehearsal becomes your most powerful tool for transformation. Think about it. Athletes use mental rehearsal to perfect their performance. Musicians use it to master their craft. But you can use it to master the art of becoming your future self. This isn't just daydreaming or positive thinking. This is systematic, intentional programming of your nervous system. When you do mental rehearsal correctly, you're creating such vivid scenes in your mind that your body believes it's having a real experience. You're not just thinking about your future. You're there, living it, feeling it with every cell of your body. If your desired future involves running a successful business, you feel the confidence as you walk into important meetings. You experience the satisfaction of seeing your ideas come to life. You sense the energy of your team working together harmoniously. Most people make the mistake of visualizing their future from a distance, like watching a movie. That's not enough. You need to step into that scene, feel the temperature of the room, notice the colors, the sounds, the textures around you. What are you wearing? How are you standing? What does success smell like? What does abundance feel like in your body? The more sensory details you include, the more real it becomes to your nervous system. Here's what happens when you practice mental rehearsal consistently. Your brain starts forming new neural networks before the actual experience occurs. You're installing the neurological hardware of your future before it manifests in physical reality. Just like learning to play an instrument changes your brain, mental rehearsal changes your neural circuitry to match your desired future. But let's be honest, you'll face resistance. Your body, addicted to its past emotional states, will fight back. You might feel uncomfortable, restless, or skeptical. This is normal. Your old self is dying, and the new self is being born. This discomfort is actually a sign that you're doing it right. You're disrupting the old patterns and creating new ones. So the key is consistency. You can't do this once and expect miracles. Just like you wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to be in perfect shape, you can't do mental rehearsal sporadically and expect profound change. This needs to become a daily practice. I recommend starting your day with it. Before checking your phone, before getting caught up in the world's energy, give yourself at least 15 minutes of focused mental rehearsal every morning. So remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your environment and what's happening in your mind. When you rehearse your future with intensity and emotion, you're literally preconditioning your body to know what that new future feels like. You're training yourself to be familiar with a reality that hasn't happened yet. This brings us to something vital, the power of elevated emotions. Each of us has an emotional signature, a familiar feeling state we return to again and again. For some, it's worry. For others, it's frustration or self-doubt. These emotional states become so familiar that we mistake them for who we are. But here's the truth. Your emotional signature is just a habit. And like any habit, it can be changed. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have for transformation. Not the casual thank you kind of gratitude, but genuine, heart-opening appreciation that fills your entire body. When you feel sincere gratitude, you activate your heart's electromagnetic field, which is 5,000 times more powerful than the field created by your brain. This isn't metaphorical. It's measurable, quantifiable energy. Most people live from thought to feeling. They need something to happen in their outer world to feel good inside. But masters of creation reverse this process. They go from feeling to thought. They generate the elevated emotion first without needing any external reason. This is the secret to manifestation, feeling the emotion of your future before it arrives. Think about it. If you're waiting to feel abundant until you have money, you're stuck in the old paradigm. But when you generate the feeling of abundance, regardless of your current circumstances, you begin broadcasting a new signal into the quantum field. Your body begins producing new chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. These aren't just feel-good chemicals. They're signals that tell your cells to prepare for a new experience. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you become a quantum creator. Your thoughts are the electrical charge, setting the intention for what you want to create. But it's your emotions that provide the magnetic charge, drawing that reality to you. This is why many people can think positively all day long, but never see changes in their life. They're missing the emotional component. Now let's talk about something that might blow your mind: quantum physics and how it relates to creating your reality. In the quantum world, nothing is fixed until it's observed. Before observation, everything exists as waves of possibility. This isn't science fiction. It's proving quantum mechanics. Your consciousness, your attention, your focus, these literally collapse waves of possibility into physical reality. When scientists look at particles at the quantum level, they've discovered something astonishing. The mere act of observation changes how these particles behave. Think about what this means for your life. Every time you observe your reality with expectation and elevated emotion, you're literally influencing the quantum field of infinite possibilities. What we call time is actually a construct of our consciousness. At the quantum level, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The future you desire already exists. In the quantum field, it's not something that needs to be created. It just needs to be selected through your focused attention and emotion. This is why when you learn to generate the feelings of your desired future in the present moment, you begin to draw that reality to you. You exist in multiple parallel realities right now. The you who has already achieved your dreams exists. The you who is already healthy exists. The you who is already abundant exists. These aren't metaphors, they're quantum possibilities. When you consistently tune your thoughts and emotions to match that reality, you begin to collapse those wave functions of possibility into your current experience. Remember the woman I mentioned at the beginning who healed herself? She wasn't just thinking about walking, she was collapsing the quantum possibility of walking into her reality through her focused intention and elevated emotional state. She was selecting that particular reality from the field of infinite possibilities. The present moment is your point of power. It's the only place where transformation can happen. Most people miss this because they're constantly running automatic programs from their past. They wake up, check their phone, worry about the same problems, feel the same emotions over and over. But when you learn to stay present and aware, you can catch these old patterns before they take over. You can pause in that space between stimulus and response and choose. Your consciousness in the present moment is like a spotlight. Whatever you shine it on grows stronger in your experience. When you maintain awareness of elevated emotions and future possibilities in the present moment, you're literally programming your nervous system for new experiences. You're no longer at the mercy of your past programming. You become the programmer. Your brain is the most adaptable organ in your body. Scientists call this quality neuroplasticity. Your brain's ability to rewire itself based on your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Every time you think a new thought or practice a new emotion, you're literally creating new connections between your brain cells. This isn't a slow. Think of your brain like a garden. When you stop using certain neural pathways, like old habits of worry or self-doubt, those connections begin to weaken, just like unpruning garden paths. At the same time, when you consistently practice new thoughts and elevated emotions, you're strengthening new neural pathways. You're carving new paths in your garden of consciousness. And here's what's fascinating. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion during your mental rehearsal, you fire and wire new neural networks more efficiently than any other way. You're not just thinking about your future, you're installing the neurological hardware to become that future version of yourself. Every time you practice, these connections get strong. The key is repetition with emotion. A single positive thought won't rewire your brain, just like one workout won't transform your body, but when you consistently practice your new states of being, when you repeatedly fire these new neural networks while in elevated emotional states, you create lasting change. Your brain literally begins to reorganize itself to match your new way of thinking and feeling. Let's talk about what happens when doubt creeps in, because it will. Doubt is just your old self trying to pull you back to the familiar. When those thoughts come up saying, this isn't working, or who do you think you are, recognize them for what they are. The voice of your past programming, fighting to survive. Instead of wrestling with doubt, simply observe it. Say to yourself, there's that old program running again, and return to your elevated state. Your environment will test you. Old situations, familiar people, and daily stresses will trigger your old emotional patterns. This is normal and expected. Think of these triggers as opportunities to practice your new state of being. Each time you maintain your elevated emotions in the face of an old trigger, you're strengthening your new neural pathways and weakening the old ones. One of the biggest challenges people face is staying committed when their external reality hasn't changed yet. Remember, your external reality is just a reflection of your past thoughts and emotions. It's like looking in a rearview mirror. Keep focusing on your new internal state. Regardless of what your current circumstances show you, the external world will catch up with your internal transformation. And this is why community becomes so important. When you surround yourself with others who understand this work, who are also committed to transformation, it strengthens your own commitment. Their energy supports your evolution. Their success reminds you of what's possible. This isn't about dependency. It's about creating an environment that supports your growth. As you continue this work, you'll begin noticing signs of transformation. Your body will feel different. You might experience more energy, better sleep, or a natural shift toward healthier choices. You might notice that old aches and pains begin to disappear as your body responds to your new emotional state. These physical changes are direct evidence that your internal work is creating real biological change. Pay attention to synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. Maybe you think about something you want to create and suddenly you meet exactly the right person who can help make it happen. Or you've been contemplating a new direction and opportunities related to that path start appearing in unexpected ways. These synchronicities are signs that you're in harmony with the quantum field. Your intuition will become sharper. You'll start getting clear inner guidance about decisions and opportunities. This happens because you're no longer clouded by the chemical chaos of stress hormones and survival emotions. Your clarity comes from operating at a higher frequency, where your connection to universal intelligence becomes stronger. You'll notice life begins to flow more easily. Things that used to trigger stress responses now barely affect you. Solutions appear before problems become serious. The right people and circumstances show up at the perfect time. This flow state isn't luck. It's what happens when you're aligned with the quantum field through your elevated emotions and clear intentions. So as you leave here today, remember, you're not just a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences. You're a quantum being creating your reality in every moment through your thoughts, emotions, and consciousness. The power to reshape your life isn't coming from outside you. It's already within you, waiting to be activated through your elevated emotional state. Every time you generate those emotions of gratitude, joy, and unlimited possibility, you're signaling your genes to create a new reality. Start tomorrow morning. Before the world pulls you into its chaos, take 15 minutes to generate those elevated emotions. Feel the gratitude, joy, and unlimited possibility in every cell of your body. Let your consciousness expand beyond the limitations of your past. Step into that quantum field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your future self is already there, waiting for you to collapse that wave of possibility into your present reality. Don't wait for proof to feel the way you want to feel. Be bold enough to feel it first. That's how you signal the quantum field to reorganize reality around your new state of being. Remember, the universe doesn't give you what you want, it matches who you're being. It responds to your electromagnetic signature, the combination of your thoughts and emotions. When you consistently maintain elevated emotional states while holding clear intention, you become a powerful creator of reality. Your job isn't to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to generate the emotional state of the future you desire until your body and the quantum field have no choice but to make it your reality. Feel it until it manifests. The field always responds